Dumanis says she does not believe the college letter of recommendation she wrote on department letterhead is a public document. Her letter was for the son of a Mexican national accused of making illegal campaign contributions to Dumanis' 2012 mayoral campaign. Here to explain what a public document is or is not, and why access is important to the public, our media attorney, Guylen Cummins, and Scott Lewis, CEO of Voice of San Diego. Welcome back.
Thank you very much.
Guylen, how does California law define a public record?
They actually define it exceedingly broadly, and that's any writing that's in the possession of the public entity, that's owned or used or retained by them in any manner. And they further said in the legislative history, it's only really purely personal things that you can withhold or things that are exempt by statutory mandate.
And that was my next question, if you could give us an example of what an exempt public record is for a public official.
Yes, for example, if you're a personal or a public employee, your medical records would be personnel exempt. They might be in your personnel file, but they're exempt from disclosure to the public.
I see. Now, you represented KPBS and several other local media organizations in fighting to make the Dumanis letter public. Why is this recommendation a matter of public interest?
Well, I think it's a public record, which is why I was willing to go after it on behalf of the news organizations. So it essentially bears on campaign contributions that benefited Bonnie Dumanis. There have been federal charges that have been brought against various people associated with those campaign contributions. And I think it's an important issue for the public to see when someone holds themselves out as the district attorney and makes a recommendation on official stationery, why they're doing that, what the association is, what they said about the person. All of that's important.
And Scott, Dumanis released the letter, but she said, of course, not because she agreed it was a public document. She said instead, listen, these requests and this letter has become a distraction. Why should the public care about this letter and, in general, public records access for the media?
Well, there were a lot of concerns about what's going on with this guy who is alleged to have given several $100,000 to local campaigns. And so the big questions we have is, why did he do that? Why did he want to spend so much money on San Diego politics? And then the second question is, what about Bonnie Dumanis did he want to support so much if he was willing to take these risks, even risk of jail? And I think that we all have been pursuing that. We've been polling at ideas and at angles, and this was one of the angles. Why did she want to write a recommendation? She's now admitted that she did not know this person, that she was willing to give her word, to stand behind, that this is a guy that will be energetic, a well-rounded individual. She doesn't know the person. And so there's a lot of things that we learned from this letter. Also, that it was written by the man who has pleaded guilty to funneling this money into San Diego politics illegally, and that it was written by him and prepared by him, and that she simply added her name to it. And so why is it public? It's because she used the influence of her office, the letterhead of her office, to make the point. She can write letters personally all she wants.
I know Dumanis blocked the public access request, I believe, at first. What other barriers do you think, Scott, do media organizations face when it comes to getting access to public records?
Well, as Guylen said, the Public Records Act Act is very broad. It includes a lot of things, but it doesn't have enforcement. And so unfortunately, we can make a great case if we want through letters, but unless, if they turn us down, we have to turn to people like Guylen to take them to court.
And Guylen, do you find that politicians are increasingly trying to get around complying with public records requests from the media?
I think that there are kind of two kinds of politicians. Those who understand that they're conducting public business and transparency is the #1 key for their constituents, and those that feel like it's really more their office and they have the right to run it as they see fit.
Do you think, I guess I'll ask both of you this, and I'll start with you, Guylen. What's being done to make government more transparent? If public access isn't as easy as it used to be, what's being done to make it more transparent?
Well, I think we're trying. I mean, a few years ago, we passed California Proposition 59, and that made the right of access a constitutional right. So it now carries constitutional weight. So that should have strengthened it. We do have some penalties in the California Public Records Act. For example, if you withhold a letter wrongly, you can be forced to pay the attorney fees and costs of the other side. So there are a few things like that. The problem becomes, if somebody doesn't want to turn something over, they're willing to fight for it. I I think Scott's right. Our avenues are limited.
Okay, and just quickly, if we could end with you, do you think that there are ways that are improving things for media access to public records?
Yeah, we have tremendous technological opportunities these days that they can make a lot of these documents proactively open to the public so that we can access them with a machine without having to bug the people who don't want to help us.
All right, Scott Lewis and Guylan Cummins, thank you very much.
Thank you.